happy to be here, and I hope that the short time I have an informative one. So, just as the topic says, my journey from double first class to face of Bayelsa girl child. If you ask me, and if I were to be sincere to myself, I would say the changes that came with my double first class in law and the time I was recognized by the Bayelsa state government has been God's grace. It was simply God's grace. Because if I start referring to one event to another, which happened within that interval, you would agree with me. I think it wouldn't really make sense if I just talk about my journey from being a double first class lawyer to being the face of Bayelsa girl child, because I feel to give it more context, I should highlight the events that happened before I clinched that record. As a person and as a woman, mediocrity is not an option. I feel that women should never feel inferior. I feel that both genders are equal, except when it comes to exceptional things like marriage, where you know that the man is the head of the home. But I feel in the world, in business, in entrepreneurship, all have equal chances. For me, I feel we don't need to let ourselves feel like we are the lower gender. So that informed my decision to ensure that wherever I am, whatever thing I do, I try to be the best. I tried to give it my best shot. So when I wanted to study law, I made up my mind that I wanted the first class. I wanted to be the best graduating. I wanted to be the chief justice of the faculty. I wanted the most awards and all of that. And by God's grace, I worked towards it. Like I usually tell people, yours is to do the best, do your best, and then leave the rest of it success. Now, the status quo I met in my university, which is Niger University, was that from the inception of the university, two things. First, in the university, there had been only one first class in faculty of law. And I gained that admission. I had the passion to study law, to not just study law, but to come out with it. It's looking like this is going to be a bit of an issue. And I had seniors then who would give us tutorials and then some of them would like, oh, what is it you want to, what is the grade you want for yourself? Whatever it is you want for yourself, you have to start working on it from your year one, from the first semester. You have to hit the ground running and all of that. So I opened up class for myself, and some of them encouraged me, and some others were more like, this is a government university one. Number two, many people before you have tried this and no, they ended up being heartbroken. But I didn't take that. I just somehow, even after saying that, they still helped me. They still gave me materials and all of Christian. I believe that with God all things are possible, which is why one of my best scriptures is Luke 1:37. And then if you look at Philippians 4:13, you find out that I can do all things. We can do all things through Christ that strengthens us. So I wasn't aiming to achieve all of these things because of my own power. But I feel like I have a supernatural help to achieve these things because I have God on my side. We all know that, of course, one with God is majority. So God helped me. And then I think first class, even firstly at my university, I became the first female. But before then, before me, they had two first class. They were males. We had three males who had finished first class honors at the university, at my university. And then I became the first female. And not just did I become the first female, I became the first first class honors in ND with the highest cumulative grade point average. To have a scholarship, law school is going to be walk over, the government to take care of everything, to have automatic employment, automatic scholarship, endorsements here and there. But unfortunately, none of this happened. Which is why I said to give you more context before the double first class. So having the first one, there were so many expectations, and people were like, oh, Ebizi is going to, some people actually believed in me that I was going to be another person at Nigerian Law School. But some others, they felt like, Nigerian Law School is a different world game. Besides, those who have gone to law school, some came out with some passed. So NG first class is nothing. Like, it was a stigma in my university, and I said, no, come on, as a daughter of Zion, as someone who calls herself God's daughter, a small God, God's very own. I said, no. This status cannot continue. So I took it to have at least 5 first class from my set. And although God answered my prayer, but not the way I wanted, because just me from my set at Nigerian Law School got this first class. And this made me the first from my university, and first from Bayelsa to have both first class acts. Again, expectations were high. Government should recognize her, should have scholarship, a job is not a problem, she will have money, she will have endorsements, to be ambassador of different things here and there, her life is sorted out. But that was not it. Because the governor who was on seat at the time, things that people expected him to do. And then I found out that God came through for me in a different way I never expected. Because a few months down the line, after I'd gotten the first class at Nigerian Law School, and I saw nothing, I'd given up on the government, to be sincere. I just decided to face my life, face my career, as opportunities for myself. Then find postgraduate scholarship, get admission for myself, and then see how I can liaise with people who have been there before, people who are doing well, people who are attending or have attended Ivy League schools abroad and all of that. But I realized late last year that I saw people I don't know, as I did not know them, but they were speaking up for me. They're like, this girl is different. This girl is unique. This girl is like, why haven't you recognized her? Why haven't you honored her? So this was part of what happened between me clinching that record and then the record. I had come to Lagos, so decided that this is where I would be, sent out applications, put on this cosmic spirit, you know, you don't have connections, you don't have anybody, it's just God to have. So if you see me the way I take my work and my career, it will look like I don't even have those grades. So I felt like, in as much as good grades are good and I can guarantee you a successful life. So right here, without father, without mother here, just me alone, staying on my own, I decided that I'm going to put on that cosmic spirit and assume that I don't have those good grades, because relaxing and feeling like, oh, I have those good grades after I'm also a certified computer forensics examiner, it's going to make me miss out. And I did not want that for myself. So I felt it's another thing for me to achieve more, keep putting in the work, and then trusting God that at his own time, I will be honored, or he's going to reward me in his own way. Fast forward how many months, and then I was told. Before I was told, something happened to me that week. I lost my mom. I lost my beloved mom. And I had just traveled to Port Harcourt. We were mourning when I got the call that Saturday evening that I may see the governor following me. So, counting back to that government house, to be sincere, I never saw this face of Bayelsa girl child thing coming. This is why I said, if I'm to be sincere, it's God's grace. If I'm to be sincere, it's beyond the hard work. It's beyond my first class. Because if you look at the western part of Nigeria, eastern part of Nigeria, it's more like a normal thing for them. Just that Bayelsa, a major issue with the girl child in Bayelsa. Although we have many females from Bayelsa doing well, but we still have a good number of us who are not really exposed, who do not really know the value of education. So for me, being the face of Bayelsa girl child moved me from being my private lawyer, a private person minding her own business and doing her own things, mentoring people she can, to bringing me out to the public, making me a public figure, making me someone who should be a mentor, a model that we should emulate and look up to. And to think of it, it's not because I deserve it. It's not because I'm the best, actually. No other person has gotten first class, but God's grace. And then this is me saying to females out there, do not see yourself as a lesser gender. Do not see yourself as, oh, because if this person I respect so much, if this person who people know to not achieve this at the Nigerian Law School, then why should I do that? I took, because there were so many of my senior colleagues I respected who I knew that these ones are so outstanding. They are brilliant, they are intelligent. But I did not look at it from the angle of if they could not achieve that. Cannot. No, I pushed and I trusted God for it. Other universities who have clinched that record at the Nigerian Law School, and they gave me tips. I attended tutorials even before I got to law school. I intend just to get practical knowledge so that when I get to law school, I can be able to relate most of these things. And I realized that God came through for me. So women should, whatever it is you're doing, it may not be a career, it may be a business. Make sure you give it your 100%. Make sure you give it your best. Make sure you put in the work. Make sure you aim for excellence. Make sure you keep pushing. Because being the face of Bayelsa culture has proven to me that success can be rewarded. Goodness, even if it may not be so for everybody, but it's more of an encouragement that the government at the southern part of Nigeria, actually Bayelsa State, they are beginning to see the need for education to be at the forefront. They are beginning to see the need for appointments to be. They are beginning to see a need for people who are doing well in their career, people who have created a particular standard to be public figures that other Bayelsans, other Nigerians can look up to and say, I want to be like this person, I want to be better than this person. Because for me, I feel like better than me. So in as much as you see me as well, first class in this, first class in that, I was at a law firm, I'm now with one goal, I want to be like her. It's a good thing, but you should actually aim being higher than me. And then, of course, we find out that things are changing daily. And the major thing is how technology now affects our everyday life. So, as a woman in your career, in your space, in your business, you cannot afford to be backward. You have to be tech savvy. While you're working towards being a leader in your industry, you have to make sure that you're keeping how to use your computer, you're keeping up with technology. You need to be at the top of your game, because if you're not, other people will take over. You'll be overtaken. You'll be where you are, and the world will move on, and everybody will be fine. So, in as much as you get there, don't allow it to get into your head. Take it. You have to keep updating yourself. You have to keep giving back to society, because whatever achievements you make, you have to see that it's an opportunity for you to impact more lives, so that more people can be like you and even better than you. Like Johnny from being a double first class. Firstly, as God's grace. Secondly, it taught me so many lessons, being that God can use anybody to actually blow your trumpet. Because, like I said, the event that happened last November and December, I actually saw people who I do not know, people who do not know me, just hearing about my profile. And this wasn't me blowing my trumpet. This wasn't me craving for those advertisements and publications and all, but it was all over the place. And it shows that there's a supernatural hand involved, which is God. So no matter what it is that you're working towards, or perhaps you've achieved, and you feel like you've not been given to you, just keep doing your thing. You will do your thing in secret or in private, in a private condition. Not definitely rocking open. It's not a good thing for you to go about blowing your own trumpet. Be proud. You have to be humble, and your humble people will be able to be more moves to even help you, be more moves to even see how they can push you out there. And I'm hoping that my term as face of Bayelsa girl child actually impacts much more lives. Because I feel like Nigerians are fortunate that we do not have the enabling environment that we look forward to having. But I'm sure that if we keep doing our bits, and then with the God factor, we'll definitely be where we want to be, even far better than that. Because, of course, God will definitely always give us the best. And my prayer for every Bayelsa girl child there is they begin to see the importance of being outstanding, they begin to see the importance of not seeing themselves as a lesser or an inferior gender. And beyond Bayelsa, I feel to South, to Nigeria, to Africa, there is much more to us. Leadership, we have to be on the top of our game. In technology, we have to be there. We need to keep updating ourselves. We need to keep putting the work, putting our 100%, giving it our best shot. And I'm sure that at the end of the day, we will be sure that we will live a good life on earth. Because it's one thing for you to live, and it's one thing for you to live a practical life, such that even after you are no more, people will still remember you. Compared to certain records that you broke, certain standards that you've kept while you were doing your business or doing about your career. And I pray that God would help each and every one of us to receive grace, so that God will help us get to where we want to be, even beyond our imaginations. Thank you. So if you have questions, please feel free.
Okay, thank you very much, Eradiri, for this section. It was really insightful. Thank you very much. So we have a couple of questions here for you.
Okay.
So the first one is, as a lawyer, how can you use tech to solve problems around the bar and judiciary, especially in the courts?
Sorry, I did not get that.
As a lawyer, how can you use tech to solve problems around the bar and judiciary, especially in the court?
How can I
use technology to solve problems?
Okay, I've seen it. As a lawyer, how can you use tech to solve problems around the bar and judiciary, especially in the court? Okay, so lawyers are actually seen as advocates. They're actually seen as who you look up to for justice and all of that. But we know that we find ourselves in a society where a lot of things are already messed up. But as a lawyer, for me, come to talk about how tech can actually solve problems, you have to first of all identify the problems that are befalling our judicial system. The judicial system, judiciary is same thing as court. So you have the bar and the bench. So how technology can come in is, number one, we all know the general notion of how matters stay so long in court. Some matters can go on for as long as 10 years, some more than that. Really look at it. What are the causes of this problem? What's the reason why these matters linger in court? Why are they not sorted out? Why are they not just resolved in the speed of light or as soon as possible? Number one, our courts, although some, like in Lagos, but you find out that many courts still keep records in hard copy. So it's difficult to adjust. But some courts are now doing the recording system, updating some of these processes online. kudos to Lagos because they usually set the standard for age. So one of the ways you can tech can solve problems at the back is that lawyers have to be tech savvy. There have to be enlightenment programs to make lawyers understand that they need to address, especially the older lawyers, because for us younger lawyers who just in the last few years, even right from the first time in our personal activities. So there has to be a shift from being manual to being digital, and that would help in the backlog of cases. That's going to help in the court resorting to part. But sometimes you look for these files and so then they'll be missing some, they are backed up maybe in the cloud, for instance. You find out that they'll be easily accessible. And then secondly, there's some other issues with the lawyers dragging the matters in court just because they want appearance fee and all of that. So if you really look at it, there are different reasons why matters linger in court. But that which is related, and the lawyers have to move from being manual to being digital. Case files have to be electronic. The court record has to be electronic. Processes in court do not have to be handwritten by the judge. It has to be recorded. Like I said, thanks to Lagos, they're already doing that. So then I feel a major canker affecting the judiciary now is corruption. Because if you really look at it, Nigerians no longer have that confidence in the judiciary. Most Nigerians have lost that confidence because they feel most judges' justice are now extend that checkmates the activities of judges. Essentially, if many things are being tracked online or updated online, there are ways these judges and these corrupt judges and justice can be tracked, even with their BVN. Because just you can imagine that some judges, but you see them affording things more than their salary or more than their personal businesses or personal streams of income. That's a red flag already. But because we have a corrupt system, these measures that are there, they are not utilizing it to investigate and catch those who are found wanting. The BVN can do that. Using the database and checkmating the records of these judges and justices is another thing. And with technology, it's very easy to track. Even with computer forensics, if you get to get access to the person's phone or the person's computer, sieve out information that would show is corrupt and has to call to order. So in a nutshell, what I'm saying is that tech can actually solve problems in the legal space, both at bar and at the bench, if we can actually embrace it. Some are already existing, but because of the corrupt system already in society, they are not utilizing it to actually. But hopefully, by God's grace, we have better leaders and we have people who are coming up to take up this position. Even the Bible says that when the righteous rules, the people rejoice. So when we have righteous people up there, I'm sure some of these things will tackle. Because it's one thing to have the technology for it, and another thing for it to utilize to achieve that purpose. I think if there's any other question, please. I'm here.
Yes. What challenges are you facing in the legal industry as a female lawyer?
Okay, so for me, whatever challenge I'm facing now, it's not because I'm female. And I've been so graced by God that certain struggles some people have, I do not have that. I don't have it. So, but if I'm to speak to challenges that females generally face in the legal industry, number one, I would say sexual harassment. Sexual harassment in the sense that there are some bosses who would say before they can give you jobs in their law firms or in their chambers, then you have to give yourself out, which doesn't make sense to me. Although it has not happened to me, but I know some female side. Secondly, motherhood. You find out that some employers, before they employ a lawyer, they would put an age restriction and say you must be single. What that means is, even if you're a married woman, you have a child or you don't have a child yet, the fact that you're married already puts you at a disadvantage because employers feel they need someone who will be at their beck and call. And a married woman with a husband, children, or a kid will have divided attention and would want to share her time into two, family and then work. Meanwhile, most times they're trying to get single people these jobs. And then some other things that females experience in the profession is being downgraded. You're employed as a lawyer to be maybe a law firm or in a company, but you find out that you end because some may want to send you on errands, send you to do private things that is not connected to your contract of employment, etc. So rather than some actually employing a maid or an office assistant to do some of these things, find out that the employer is a lawyer, but because you are female, make tea and all of those things, which doesn't make sense in the professional environment. So these are some of the challenges that females are passing through in the legal industry. And then again, when it comes to litigation, there's this presumption that the gender best suited us. So sometimes if you come across litigation firms, you find out that they always want to employ males, or the people in their employ consist of males more than females. Meanwhile, there are some females who have industry and that females can't do litigation, that litigation is vigorous and it involves hard work and all of those things. But I mean, I've seen females doing well in education, but that's another challenge that females face. So that's it for this part.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so the last one
Welcome.
is there are so many females in the university who are less informed about technology. Now, how do you get them into technology? Because they have a skill who would give them money quickly. They don't have to go through the series of training, the series of looking at the computer, the series of attending one community program. So how do you encourage them to venture into tech?
Okay. So my advice to those kind of people would depend on what they're exposed to. Perhaps they are not exposed to the importance of the world. Because no matter what it is you do, you find out that you still rely on technology in one way or the other. So I would advise sensitization, more enlightenment to those kind of people so that they are not left behind after the world has moved way forward. Schools have to choose around IT, computer, technology, etc. So that right from the university, in fact, for me, even the university is quite late because these are things that should start from the beginning, right from the primary school. Children should be exposed to school. I feel this is a problem in Nigeria, or let me say Africa, not really the world, because we are the ones who are mostly backward when it comes to issues like this. If not, it should be part of the curriculum in primary school, secondary school. So even before a lady gets to the university, exposed to the workings of technology and how it affects her and how it affects her future, how it affects what she does, how it's even going to affect her family. Because technology will even make motherhood easier. Like, for example, the traditional way of breastfeeding is always having the baby have to suck from it, feed your baby, manually extract to put in these baby bottles to feed your baby later. But right now, there is a technology that automatically extracts the milk from you. All you have to do is just connect to your breast and then feed and all of those things. And then it extracts it. You can go about your business. Someone else can feed the baby for you. So technology, both at the personal level, family level, corporate level, public level, whatever it is, it's still tied to technology. In fact, the fact that we're able to look at us, we're the comfort of our homes or offices, wherever we are, and then we can have a meeting where all of us are present. Without technology, we would have to converge at a particular physical venue, which will require, for example, someone like me who is based in Lagos, it will require me leaving my house hours before just doing 1 minute, 5 minutes before the time. So we have to keep sensitizing because they don't know. If they know, of course, why not? They would venture into it, even if not for profit making. For me, I feel not everybody needs to make money from technology. You may have to follow your passion, but find your family. It goes a long way. And then, of course, you can still sensitize them on how they can make money from tech. So those interested can go for it. And then those who want to use it on a personal level, they do. And those that do not want it at all, it's left for them because you have done your part in sensitizing them. Because, of course, you cannot force them, but you cannot force it to drink. Some people may still want to feel relaxed, but trust me, I believe most people, they know about this and they have the means for it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So if you have more questions, you can send a message to her on her Twitter or LinkedIn handles. Okay, thank you very much, Eradiri, for this insightful section. Thank you very much.